We are live again. I told you I will be here with all the breaking news concerning this bid for Mason Mount. Now, a new development has just come in. Just as I was retiring to my bed, Chelsea has rejected the third bid from Manchester United. Is that it? Or will Manchester United go back and bid again? Is it worth it? Should United go and bid again? That is the question. Well, Chelsea has just rejected the bid by Manchester United. Let me know what you think about that. This is the third bid that was put in by Manchester United, and it has been rejected instantly by Chelsea. That's the latest coming through concerning the Manchester United attempt to get Mason Mount. Well, this is seeming to take longer than most of us would have expected it. It's almost going to be again another back to square one, a case of back to square one. Man United were hoping that this was the third and final bid for the player. Well, Chelsea have rejected it upon arrival. Remember, the third bid was tabled earlier on today. Now, we expected that both parties were quite impressed with this one, but as it turns out now, this bid has been rejected. And for me, I do pose the question to you: do you think Manchester United should bid again, or should that be it? Do you think United should bid again, or is that it? To be honest, I don't think United should be going back to bid again. Like I told you in my earlier video, I felt if Chelsea doesn't take this one, for me, it's only obvious United should just give up and move on. But what exactly is going to happen? Well, the big breaking news right now that has just come through is that Chelsea has rejected that that third bid from Manchester United for Mason Mount. The bid of £55 million in total. That's 50 million plus 5 million in add-ons. Chelsea feel that's still low. Their valuation of the player is £65 million. Now, certainly, like United feel, a lot of us feel it's on the higher side. So it is certainly going to take a new twist. Do we see Manchester United giving up? For me, to be honest, I think this would be good riddance for United. I think they have tried to give them credit for trying, whereas the manager wants the player so much. I don't want to think we are so desperate for Mason Mount. He's not the player we're desperate for. He's not a Kylian Mbappe. Neither is he a Harry Kane. I think we can do without him in this summer. I think we can hold on and be patient. Probably it makes the decision easy now for Ten Hag to move on and look for the players that he needs, really, the more crucial players needed in the Manchester United squad. But the latest news has just broken now, just less than 5 minutes ago, is that Chelsea has rejected the third bid from Manchester United for Mason Mount. That bid was put in about 2 hours ago, and we expected that it was going to be going through because both parties seem to be content with what was presented. There was a feeling that now this was going to end it. Remember, this has been going on for quite some time, back and forth. But Chelsea feel it is still on the low side. They say this is low and they have rejected the bid. The question is, should Manchester United go on and bid again? Should Manchester United step up their bid and increase it to make it bid number 4, make again a better improved offer? Or should United just move on, give up on this man and just move on? Is Mason Mount a player United is desperate for, in your opinion? I do want to pick your mind, guys. Is Mason Mount a player worth bidding 4 times for from a team like Manchester United in this state, a team that has got a lot of areas to sort? To be honest, frankly speaking, I think this would be good readers for United. I think United should just move on, go to other players. There are so many players on the market, so many players to sign. Yes, United needs more creativity and all, but I think Bruno Fernandez can give us that. I do think United can now focus on sorting the bigger problems they have. For me, Mason Mount has never been a priority. Yes, Ten Hag wants him. He has never been a priority. We are not about to be ripped off. I thought even 55 million was already a rip-off. United should not be adding 1 pence to this one. Well, it has been rejected by Chelsea, who feel probably they have more, because in total, Chelsea uh, without without add-ons in total, had they accepted to sell Mason Mount to Manchester United, they would be making up close to 193 million pounds, including add-ons. Now that's a lot of money to make in this summer for one club, more so when most clubs are yet to sell a single player. But they feel they want to ground out more from all teams that come bidding for any of their players. And for me, I do feel that's wrong business. I think Manchester United this time around should show some mettle and just move on. Go sign the more crucial players, because Mason Mount is not world class. He's not a player who is going to slide into the Manchester United team and change things around instantly. He's not a player United is desperate for. The position he plays is not the position United is desperate to solve. I do feel, for me, was, I think, even an add-on. I mean, he would have, in the ideal world, he would have been one of those more signings you bring on just to, you know, to spend the extra cash you have if you have so much money to spend. For me, I don't think United should be going back to bid again. But give me your opinion, guys. If you're up, if you're there, if you're watching this, whichever time you get to watch it, give me your opinion. Even if you watch it tomorrow, do you think United should go ahead and bid again, or is it good riddance for Manchester United? Morris is on the first to comment saying, I'm a United fan, but I'm happy. Let us go for another player. I agree with you 150%. I do think this is good riddance for Manchester United. I think what Chelsea has done is helped Manchester United make the right decision. Eric Ten Hag, for whatever he sees in Mason Mount that we don't see, and we're not managers, I think he should just move on and get other players. Well, news has just come in that Chelsea have rejected that bid from Mason. But I think Chelsea are confused by the fact that they have sold a lot of players, and I think that's where they feel now they're not desperate to make money, because I think already they have passed the financial fair play test. So they feel probably, but also maybe they are reading into the desperacy of Manchester United, because clearly it seems Eric Ten Hag is so fascinated by Mason Mount. He just can't. But look at the players Chelsea has sold. Hakim Ziyech went for £8 million. Eduardo Mendy and Kalidou Koulibaly together brought in a combined £34.2 million. That's now. Then Kante, of course, went for free. Kovacic, £25 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Kai Havertz, £60 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Mason Mount could have gone for 50 plus 5. They have rejected it. Now, in total, Chelsea have, and as Schwett are leaving for free, but in total, Chelsea would have brought in £127 million minus add-ons. With add-ons, Chelsea would have brought in, including Mason Mount, the 50 million and 4 plus 5 that United were offering them in the third bid. They could have brought in a total of £193 million. Now, that's how much Chelsea could have made so far in this transfer window. I think that's crazy money. It's money that can, I think, settle 99% of the Manchester United problems. So, for me, Chelsea is just taking all clubs for a rip-off. For why? I don't understand, because none of their players is world-class. Mason Mount could have never been an option. For me, Chelsea should now, Man United should just focus on other players. Now, of course, Morris is saying let's go for Caicedo now. Well, I don't think it was a case of either Caicedo or Mason Mount, because the two don't play the same position. But I also think Chelsea is in the lead to sign Caicedo. I think he said yes to them already. But for me, I think Man United should be focusing on the players that are crucial. Players in position. Yes, Caicedo would make sense, because United needs another holding midfielder. I don't think Man United should even be thinking or giving it thought that they should go on and sign another player, rather bid again to make a fourth bid. Cheso Bashir is saying, bro, are you sure? Yes, I am very sure. It has been confirmed that Chelsea have rejected Manchester United fourth bid for Mason Mount. The bid was £50 million plus £5 million in add-ons. And the third bid that was tabled had been £45 million plus £5 million in add-ons. Now Chelsea have refused to take the increment of the extra £5 million that United has increased in their deal, and they are saying they are holding on for what they want. That's 65 million in total, which is 60 plus 5 million. Now, again, complete rip-off. Man United, we are waiting to see how they are going to react to this. I do hope they are closing the case. I do hope they are calling this off. I think, for me, it's the player I had, because Mason Mount, I do feel, is a player we can wait and get for free at the end of the summer. We are not desperate for a number 10. We are not desperate for Mason Mount. We are not desperate for him. We would be desperate if he was a Kylian Mbappe, if he was a Harry Kane, if he was a Victor Osimhen, if he was someone who is going to come in and guarantee United 10 goals, rather 20 goals or so. But for Mount, who is overpriced, a Mount who has not been starting games for Chelsea, there is no justification for Man United, under the circumstances, to be first of all in the first place, bidding for him first, but also going on to make the first, the second, the third, and then the fourth bid for an overpriced player. I don't think Man United should be playing part in this hype ball, or hyperbole, if I would call it. But yeah, that's the situation, of course, that is happening. And of course, I do believe it's good riddance. I do believe we should be happy about it as Man United fans. Now the focus should shift to Onana, to a striker, to a central defender, but not going back with bid number 4 for this man. United made it clear they were not willing to overspend on the player. They were not willing to pay more than what they value the player at. I do hope they stick to their guns, and that is what happens. I hope they are not cornered into going on to overspend. So that's the latest that is happening. The transfer saga is just taking a new shift. Chelsea have rejected Man United's bid of around £55 million for Mason Mount. That's the latest that is coming through. Give me your 2 cents about that. What's your opinion about that? Is it good riddance? Should we be in our beds crying and and sad and somber about what's happening, or should we be happy saying, okay, it's good riddance, and certainly, whereas we agreed with the player, we are going to pay him £200,000 per week? Well, perhaps money Chelsea could match, but the player doesn't want to play for them. You can't force a player who does not want you, or you're trying to overprice them to force them to extend a contract. I do think that is poor management of business. But like I've been saying, Chelsea are excited by the fact that they are getting a lot of money from Saudi Arabia, so they think they can go on ripping off everyone. That's why they ripped off Arsenal when it came to Kai Havertz and all. So, well, I think United should be steady and watching and seeing what's happening. I mean, we're a big club, and we shouldn't be desperate to sign players who are not even world class yet. So for me, I do say this is a deal I'm calling off. Call this one off. Let's move on to other targets. Let's move on to other signings, and that for me would mean business for Manchester United, and I would have a lot of trust then, even more trust in Erik ten Hag. For me, this is going to be a proper test of character for Erik ten Hag. Do we go on and bid again, or do we say let's move on and move on to other targets? We would rather go and try and bid. I said yesterday I would rather pay 60 million for Nicolo Barella, a 26-year-old from Milan, than pay 55 million or 60 million or 65 million for Mason Mount. That's me. I would rather do that. And whereas Barella is 2 years older, I think he's a more skillful player. I think he's more close to world class than Mason Mount. I think he would impact on Man United a lot more easily. So for me, I'll let them go. Let's forget about them and go for another player. There is a lot out there. I agree with you. I think there are a lot of number 10s out there we can get. We are not even desperate for one this summer. I think this is a position United can manage without, because there is Bruno Fernandez, there is Christian Eriksen. I think we can do without Mason Mount. If it were upon me, I wouldn't have sanctioned the purchase of Mason Mount in the circumstances we are in. That is not the problem we have. If it was a holding midfielder, maybe it would make sense. But I feel like Mason Mount is overrating. Okay, not him, because it's not him. Chelsea are overrating Mason Mount, and they are costing the player his dream move. But you wonder what exactly they expect. What exactly they expect Manchester United to do. I wonder what clubs. And for me, this is a sign that clubs sort of, and this is what I've been saying, that we've proved John Mata and Richard Arnold have proved to all clubs in Europe that they are the laughing stock of town, that they are the most gullible guys in terms of doing football business. That is why clubs will come up with all forms of disrespect, because for me, this is disrespect to the biggest football club in the world. Chelsea is an upcoming club. It's not as big as Man United. This is disrespect to the biggest football club in the world. Whereas, yes, it's their player. I do think overpricing such a mediocre player with a year left on his contract, I do think, for me, even 50 million, 45 million was such a great deal for them. But this is disrespect. Them saying, we know how weak you guys are. They are testing the resolve of John Mata and Richard Arnold. And I do hope for once, these guys do the right thing and move on. Morris, but we have Bruno and Eriksen, exactly. So we should look for a holding midfielder. That's the point. That's what I'm saying. That why on earth? And whereas I trust in Erik ten Hag and whatever he's doing, I wonder what on earth he was thinking, going for Mason Mount. What's the fascination with this boy? I don't get it. And more so at this point in time, when this guy is coming from injury, he did not play for the most part, I think, of last season for Chelsea. He has barely had an impact. Yes, he's good, he's a good passer of the ball. He passes the ball well. He has his advantages. He has traits that are good, clearly, and there's nothing I don't have a lot of reservations about his talent. He's a fairly talented player, but he's not world class for me yet. He's not worth that amount of money. Some go for saying, why do we cause headache to ourselves when there is some other options? Exactly. I believe they don't want to sell to their rivals. Let us just give up on Mount. Thank you, Semogere. And I just don't get the fascination with all the basic, goods that he have. Why is Erik ten Hag so fascinated about Mason Mount? I don't get it. I can never get it. I'll never get it. Unless he's signed and we see the magic. But I don't understand why United cannot be patient. The player has made it clear he's not going to be extending his contract. It ends next summer. Next summer is months away. Relax. Be patient. Yes, keep him there. The way we waited and relaxed on Adrien Rabiot, who we went for. We wanted him badly in the last transfer. He wanted high wages. We said, let's wait. And we are getting him now for free. We are most likely going to get him for free now. What's the fascination about Mason Mount that Erik ten Hag can go to bid for him for 1, 2, 3, 4 times before signing a goalkeeper, when your first choice goalkeeper is at the brink of leaving for free? Before getting a centre back, you fail to go and bid for Kim Min-jae. Bayern is coping you, and for me, this is the epitome of a club poorly run, and that has been the problem at Man United for ages, and we are seeing it, guys. I don't know when I'll get credit, when you guys will give me. I've been saying this, that Manchester United has had all hallmarks of a club that is poorly run, and this is the epitome of it. If United go ahead, already they have made mistakes in bidding for 3 times for this, nobody. I'll be shocked I'll be disappointed again, like I've always been in this administration, if United went ahead and placed a 3rd bid for this player. I think right now what Ten Hag should be doing, as I speak, he should be calling John Mata, he should be calling Richard Arnold, he should be calling whoever should be concerned, telling them, move on from the 24-year-old British overrated footballer, and let's go get serious players who will solve the problems we have, who will help us attack the elephants we have in the room. The elephant in the room at Man United is a goalkeeper, sort the goalkeeping situation, is a striking elephant, sort the striking situation, a holding midfield situation. Those are the areas Manchester United has got to be thinking of first. Yes, Christian Eriksen is not going to give you 2 good seasons, but you've got Bruno Fernandez. If you have another holding midfielder, and because one of the issues why we've struggled in some games, Bruno Fernandez has for the most part been Man United's best player, but he's played all over the place. He cannot even fulfill his maximum potential, realize his full potential. Why? Because he's played all over the place. Why? Because managers are making the wrong priorities in terms of signings. you're bringing in the wrong people. So let Bruno Fernandez go and play his number 10, because that's where he's supposed to be. In any case, Mason Mount was never a better footballer. He can never be a better number 10 than Bruno Fernandez. Let Bruno Fernandez concentrate on his number 10 position, get players, get a striker that is going to be feeding the ball with to score the goals, get a holding midfielder to support Casemiro, and you have a complete Manchester United squad that can go and run toe-to-toe with Manchester City, with Arsenal. Not Mason Mount. What is he going to do? What impact will Mason Mount add in Manchester United? That you go in early in this window, you make 4 bids for this player who has, I think he only scored 3 goals last season for Chelsea. What's the justification? What's the justification? I don't know what the process is, what processes they go through to sanction these transfers. But for me, this one was a miss, and it is totally good riddance. It is time for us to actually, we should be celebrating as United fans, like Semoge is saying. He's happy. We should be happy. Same thing with Morris and all the rest. I think we should be happy that Chelsea have done it for us. Kudos to Chelsea. Thank you, Chelsea. John Mata, Richard Arnold, do one right thing. Just cancel that. Forget about Mason Mount. Wait for him. If the coach wants him so bad, let him be patient and wait for him at the end of his contract. That's it. Simple. Simple. Guys, let's just have these Glazer administrators do one right thing as they leave. We don't expect the Glazers. The only right thing we expect the Glazers to do now is to sell to Sheikh Jassim. But at least let John Mata, in the evening of their start United, let them do one right thing. We'll remember them for this. That at least as they were leaving, they saved us 65 million pounds by not accepting what Eric Ten Hag wanted, to sign a mediocre Mason Mount for a rip-off fee. For me, that's it. I don't see how this would make sense. But yeah, that's what is happening. The bid has been rejected, and for me, to be honest, I'm happy. I'm happy because I've never been a fan. If you've been following me, I've always wanted United to have a fast signing, to sign a player. But Mason Mount looked like the one the coach wanted. He kept insisting he should only come for the right fee, but the right fee cannot be anything more than 50 million. Later on 55 that we added on the add-ons. Chelsea can go to hell with their player. Samogere Godfrey. Actually, we have some other options where we need to look first than Mount. Exactly. Let's go for Diogo Costa. Yes, the goalkeeper. Other than Onana. I remember the age De Gea came to United. For me, Costa is my option. Of course, Costa should be the long-term option for Manchester United. Yes, Onana can come in as he's more experienced and more has played at the bigger stage a bit more maybe, but bring in both. For me, they should be bringing in both, not wasting money on Mason Mount. Samogere Godfrey is not yet a world-class player. Let's go for other options. Exactly. We need world-class players because if Man City are bidding for Declan Rice, they have a whole complete world-class squad. The second, Mason Mount wouldn't start in the second squad of Manchester City, would he? Tell me, guys, would Mason Mount start in the second squad of Manchester City? Would he? I don't think so. So these are the players. This is a player I want to pay 65 million pounds for. What's it? And this is the team we are going to be competing for. With this is the team right now. Whichever signing United should be making, our comparison should be Manchester City and the players they have. Our comparison, we should be comparing whichever player we will try to sign to the quality that is in Manchester City. That's where we should judge ourselves because that's the team to beat. If they say if you compare yourself against the best, if you judge yourself against the best, you certainly aim so high and you perform at least close to them. Maybe not like them, but close to them. But signing Mason Mount is like we are comparing ourselves with what? We are competing with Tottenham or West Ham United or Everton because he's not world class. He's not. Ebonila saying, no worry, I'm 50-50 on Mount. It's high time we showed to them and other clubs our rigidity. Yes, if we have anything like that. Arem Johnson saying, is De Gea really leaving United? It looks so. I think De Gea will leave as it looks. It will take a surprise for things to turn around. Well, things do change, but I think it will take a surprise, because there doesn't seem to be progress in terms of agreements between the two parties, him and the club. He's saying actually for him he wants to stay, but on the club side, of course, the blame game will happen. The club doesn't want to offer him what he wants, even if he says he wants to stay. So he's holding on to see out his contract, and he lives peacefully. No one will say that he turned his back on the club. But Saudi is waiting, and of course they are eager to get him, to hear. For the moment they hear that he's available and open for a move to Saudi, certainly they will come and pounce onto him. But the talk now is Mason Mount, that the bid has been rejected. Bid number 3 has been rejected by Chelsea, and well, this should be a good riddance for Manchester United. Manchester United should be celebrating this. It should be good riddance, guys, don't you think? Well, the next course of earlier on in the earlier video I was telling you about, the earlier live I did, I was telling you about the plan for Ten Hag. Of course, he thought he would get Mason Greenwood done this week and then move on to other departments, go to the goalkeeper, go bid for Nana, and then later on Rasmus Højlund. And of course, before you know it, this month has ended and Rabiot is a free agent. He gets in, and by the time preseason starts, because United's preseason is about 3 weeks away, the preseason is going to start, should be in the second week of July next month. So it's about just under a month away. Now remember, Ten Hag made it clear he wants to start preseason with his complete squad. So it's going to be interesting. They will travel to the US. I do believe that's where the preseason is going to be. So you realize, you know, how things need to move fast. So you cannot be wasting time on a non-world class player for whichever reason. So Ten Hag should act now, and I think get things moving. So there is no way this should be dragging the life out of us. We already disturbed by the takeover and all, and the missing out on Kim Min-jae, more serious signings. We cannot be having headache over another Mason Mount. I think Mason Mount is a creation by Ten Hag that somehow no one seems to understand why. I've not had one single person, to be honest, who understands why Ten Hag is fascinated by Mason Mount. I don't know. I've not had one single person who understands the fascination Ten Hag has over Mason Mount. More so in this time, we are having headache over who De Gea and him staying or leaving and who is replacing him. We are having headache over a central defender, Kim Min-jae, snatched by Bayern. Headache over a striker. We don't seem to see a proper striker we want to sign. We are having headaches over the takeover. And now you create a Mason Mount headache. For what? What's the justification, guys? What's the justification? I think Ten Hag is missing it on this one. I don't understand it. Maybe they had promised the player and they just want to be gentlemen and fulfill the promise they made. But, well, probably Chelsea has now made it easy for them to move on, and Mason Mount won't feel bad or betrayed by Man United. The fact is, he's not worth it. He's not worth it. Not at all. Not for 1 minute. But yeah, that's what has just happened. That's the news, guys. I told you I'll be here to give you the breaking news when it comes. For me, I'm happy. It's good riddance. I'm hoping to hear tomorrow that United have pulled out, have withdrawn their interest in signing Mason Mount. That's the only thing I want to hear going forward. Ebonila is invoking prayers, saying, I pray we don't bid again. We shall have survived narrowly from going astray at the start. Exactly. We are going astray. Erik Ten Hag, in you we trust, but of course on this one we don't understand why you're the boss. But no, maybe it could have been another miss, the way Anthony Dos Santos is seeming to be a miss. Well, guys, I think that's it. I'm saying I don't know why the coach wants Mason Mount. We need a point, man. We need a point. Yeah, no, man. We need to understand. And I do hope when the season is starting and journalists get a chance to ask him questions, and I hope I will be there. I will make an attempt to be accredited to be for one of the games for United and be there among the journalists interviewing him. It's possible. I'll try. If I don't, I hope other journalists will. But if I'm there, I'll ask the question: what's the fascination with Mason Mount? What does he see in him that we don't see? What is it that he sees as a coach, a tactician, one of the best in the world that we trust, by the way? Not take nothing away from Ten Hag. He has character and all. But if he had the character of letting go of Cristiano Ronaldo the way he did, I think he should have the character of pulling out gently and smartly out of this interest and move on from this fascination with Mason Mount, whatever it is. I don't get it. Guys, we've got bigger problems to deal with. Take a rest, guys. Have a good night. I think it's good news, isn't it? We're happy. If you're happy, please give me a thumbs up in the comment section as we sign out this one. If you're happy about the news, like Ebony was smiling, give me a thumbs up just in the comments. Just drop it there and let's have a good night, because this is not something we should be fussing about. We shouldn't be having sleepless nights over a third bid being rejected. We should be celebrating because it is clearly good riddance. Clearly good riddance. I'll just wait for one thumbs up like this and I end this live. One thumbs up from anyone, I end this live. If you're happy, you're going to sleep well like I am, just give me a thumbs up. Ebonila, and what has Ten Hag said about it? Of course, not yet. Someone is saying peace. It is peace indeed. There is no love lost. Mason Mount, we love you. If you're meant to be a Red Devil, it will happen after your contract is out. That is at the end of the summer. Eric Ten Hag, better move on from this fascination with Mason Mount. United, I was even trying to picture, what is so exciting. Of course, we don't know what's going to happen, to be honest. It's early days. We're all happy to hear the news, but we don't know what will happen. Ten Hag might go back with bid number 4. I think that for me would be, I would begin questioning. I would begin questioning Eric Ten Hag if that happened. If he sanctioned that, I would begin questioning. But let's wait and see, guys. Let's wait and see. Is it just happened? Chelsea could change their minds, by the way, after realizing and waking up to the facts that they could actually lose this player for free. They could, wake up and say, you know what, let's just take the money and give United a call and say, guys, you know what, we've changed our minds, bring the money. Those things happen when it comes to negotiations. So let's wait and see. But for now, for me, it's no deal. No deal. Deal or no deal? No deal. Guys, have a good night. That's the deal. Enjoy your sleep. It's been an awesome day, isn't it? Bye-bye, guys. It's a new day. Good morning. Bye-bye.